Yeah, how you all doing? We're gonna make a video about the Atari Jaguar, and this is it right here, This is Atari's last console. It was released in 1993, and it's a 64-bit interactive multimedia system. It was meant to be the world's first 64-bit system, and it's a greyish colour, as you can see, and it has two controller parts, and it has a cool Atari logo there, and that's a Double Dragon 5 in the cartridge slot. It takes cartridges, and the Atari Jaguar, it was a failure. It didn't do well at all. For a number of reasons. One, it's not a 64-bit system, or the games certainly don't look 64-bit. And Atari's ads were like doing a math. It's like a classroom with a teacher explaining to the kids that the Atari Jaguar doing a math. It's twice the power of a Sega Genesis or Mega Drive or Super Nintendo. Because both of them consoles are only 16-bit, whereas the Jaguar was 64-bit. But the games don't look 64-bit. They don't. They just look like they look like 16-bit games, or in some cases, Doom and Alien vs Predator. Them two games actually show off that the Atari Jaguar is superior technically, but there's not enough games on it that show off that it is a 64-bit system. So that's problem number one with the Atari Jaguar. The games didn't look impressive enough, and people felt conned that how come the games aren't in 64-bit? Well, it was hard to program the games for. It was hard to get the most out of the system because of the way it was built. For what people tell me, there's two processors or something like that called Tom and Jerry, and these two don't work well together, and it was hard for programmers to get the best out of the system. So a lot of games didn't use the Atari Jaguar's full power, and which is a shame. Atari should have built this console like every other console, like the Sega Mega Drive or the Super Nintendo, but Atari knew they had to do something to get people's attention, because back then no one cared about Atari. Everyone was having fun with the Sega Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo. Same as I. Back in 1993, I never even heard of this system, and I didn't really care, to be honest with you, because I was having so much fun playing Sega Mega Drive games and Super Nintendo games, So but the other problems with the Atari Jaguar, the reason why it was such a failure, it was more expensive than the Sega Mega Drive or Super Nintendo, and the games library on the Atari Jaguar just wasn't as good, and it just wasn't worth it at the end of the day. To have it, if you wanted it, you have to have great games to make a great console, and the Atari Jaguar just didn't have it, or not enough anyway. It has a few good games, but there's nothing outstanding on it, and that's the main problem, and that's why it failed. No one knew about it, and people who did know about it didn't care. And they didn't see any point in getting it, because third-party developers wouldn't make games for the Atari Jaguar. They'd make them for the Sega Mega Drive or the Super Nintendo, because both of them systems are selling like hotcakes. It's easier to make games for, and it's a sure thing. The developers know that they're going to get their money, so they wouldn't invest in the Atari Jaguar. Now, there are some third-party games, like Double Dragon 5 there is a third-party game, but the best stuff went to the Sega Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo. Now, Double Dragon 5 there, I'll get into that later, right, and the games, right, but I just want to go over the system first, right. Like I said, it's a 64-bit system. Now, it looks cool, I think, and it has two controller parts. And unfortunately, See, before Sega Mega Drive and Atari stuff would work on each other because they both use similar controllers, you know, like the end. But this has pins on it where it used to be the other way around. You see where it has pins on it? Whereas before, with the 7800 and the 2600, both the Mega Drive and the 7800 and the use plugs that are very similar, but Atari decided to change things, so the only controllers that you could use on it was the Atari Jaguar controller, which is this here. So Atari sort of fucked up there, you know. Now this controller, I mean, it is a nice controller. I mean, I have no problem with it. A lot of people don't seem to like it. They think it's too bulky, too fragile, and all these buttons are unnecessary. It has a number pad. Now this is orange solder, that's an overlay, and each button it tells you what each one does, you know, which is handy, you know. Has a start and has a pause and option button, A, B and C button. Has a nice D-pad, but it's missing shoulder buttons, you know. It could have, especially for games like Doom. Like Doom is one of the better games on the Atari Jaguar. So yeah, it's a nice controller. I like it. I mean, it works well. It's comfortable. We have no issue with it. With the controller, but a lot of people don't seem to like it. They say, what's the point of having all them number buttons and stuff, you know? So so the Atari Jaguar, like I said, the failure. It didn't do well at all. But there are some good games on it, man. It's I actually like the Atari Jaguar despite it being a failure, you know. I'm a ultra Atari fan, so you know. So yeah, so that's the power button there, that red button. You hit that and it lights up green. Now the thing about the system is it won't turn on if there's no cartridge in the part, like, you know. And these are the cartridges. I'll go in the game. I'll talk about the games now in a minute. This is Double Dragon 5. But the actual the cartridges going there, you know. Now a lot of people complain that there's no dust cover there, you know, on or door on the cartridge part. It's completely exposed to dusts and stuff, which can lead to problems, you know. So like, we often have to blow in there or clean it or something because dust can gather, you know. Whereas the Sega Mega Drive, the Super Nintendo had a cover to stop dust from going in. So people get the impression that this thing was rushed. Atari rushed this to get out, you know. I don't think they thought it was an issue with Atari because the 7800 didn't have a dust cover, or the 7800 or the 5200. So I just think they didn't think it was necessary, but they should have put a dust cover there, you know, to prevent from dust, you know. And which is a odd decision, but they decided no dust cover, you know. Now the back of the system again, that's exposed motherboard, and people are saying, what the hell, like, where's the big holes in the system? It's like completely exposed, right? Well, you know, that's for the SCART lead and the AV leads, you know, and that's the RF connection, and that's that's where the power lead goes. But we have a SCART lead for the Atari Jaguar, and it's an RGT SCART cable. So in my opinion, that's the best cable to get if you want the best picture and sound out of your Atari Jaguar. So yeah, in my opinion, yeah, get a SCART lead or AV lead, you know. SCART, I think, has the best signal when it comes to sound and video, you know. So yeah, I mean, it has a lot of connection options to a television. But again, people complain that there's a big hole there. I mean, just rushing to get it out. But to me, that's not an issue, you know. You know, and this was the last console built in Sunnybank, California, by Atari, you know. And yeah, So yeah. But the new Atari VCS is being built in Sunnyvale, California. So like that's pretty good, you know. So yeah, um, yeah. So do you see the way there's like a big circular yoke there, and that's where the Atari Jaguar CD would fit, you know. And you know, it'd sit in the cartridge part, and it take up this whole area, like, you know. And this thing sort of looked like a toilet because it stick up like this. It stick up like this, right? Back part, right? And it has a lid that opens up like that. So it looks just like a toilet. That's, you know, and you know, the fucking thing, you know, which is unusual. Now the Atari Jaguar was a failure, like I said. Early '95, I believe, it was discontinued, you know. But before the Atari Jaguar was discontinued, Atari released the Atari Jaguar CD, so it could play music CDs and CD games, but there was no point because it was dead and buried and no one gave a shit about it. But they released it anyway. So eventually it became a multimedia system. You know, it didn't start out that way. You could just play games, but now you can watch, you can listen to music and play CD games. But not many games were released because it was only out for a very short amount of time. Maybe something like 15 Atari Jaguar CD games. And for some reason, the Atari Jaguar CD is really hard to find. It's very rare and it's very expensive. And from what I'm told, it's very fragile. You know, like people tell me that my chances of getting a working Atari Jaguar CD are very slim. Like, you know, and what's the point? There's not many great games on it. So I don't think I'll ever get that. You know, because what's the point? I know I'm an ultra Atari fan. But it's really hard to find one that's working and that's cheap. I mean, the cheapest Atari Jaguar CD we found was about €850 plus postage and packaging, you know, which is insane. And then there's no guarantee that it'll work, you know. Whereas the console itself, the Atari Jaguar, there's plenty of them out there. I mean, you can find them no problem. Games and controllers. But the games themselves are very expensive, you know. They seem to be going up in price all the time. I don't know. I don't understand why, because like I said, there's not many great games on the Atari Jaguar. And I'm being kind there, you know. I'm being super generous there when I say that. Because a lot of other people say there's nothing good whatsoever about the Atari Jaguar. But I'm an Atari fan, and in my opinion, it does have a few good games, you know. But not a lot, you know. So I'm hoping when the Atari VCS comes out that it's not a failure like this. That Atari release great games for it, you know, because that's what it's going to need, you know. So we have to wait and see what happens. But the Atari Jaguar, it's a good, even though it's a failure, I like it, you know. I play it from time to time, and I enjoy the games that I have for it, like, you know. So, if I was to give the Atari Jaguar a score out of 10, you know, taking everything into account, I would give it a 6 out of 10. And I'm being very generous there, you know, when I say that. But there are some games that I do like. It's kept me entertained for a few hours, but it's definitely not one of the best, you know. I prefer the Sega Mega Drive to this. I prefer the Super Nintendo to this. I have both of them consoles as well, and I played them more, and there's better games on it, and they're cheaper. So that's just even though I'm an ultra Atari fan, I still prefer the Sega Mega Drive's game library and the Super Nintendo. So that's just the way it is. I mean, if the Atari Jaguar had the same third-party support as them consoles did, it'd survive a bit longer, but it just didn't. You know, because Atari's name was tarnished. You know what I'm saying? Because of all the shady stuff they've done. Now, and the fact that the 7800 was a failure, even though it worked well and it was backwards compatible with the 7800. Again, it just didn't have great games, and no one cared about it. then the Atari Lynx comes out, same problem again. They just didn't have the support, and the Nintendo Game Boy was way cheaper, had a better game library, better battery life. So people said that's it, no more Atari. Even I gave up on Atari, sort of forgot about it, and but now we've gone back, So would I recommend this to people? No, I mean, I'm just being honest. Even though I like the system, I just couldn't recommend it. There's not enough good games on it to justify it. But, no, I just couldn't. No, I would love to, but I can't. It's just a shame. But that's the way it is. The games don't look 64-bit, and it's just Atari should have. Well, here's what if I was Atari making this system, I would have released all the roll skill games like Centipede, Asteroids, Missile Command, all the old school great games, Defender. Do them up in 3D with the graphics power that it has. Because look at a few games like Alien vs Predator, Doom, show off that it is capable of more. Just takes a bit more effort. You know what I mean? So imagine all them old school Atari games. Defender, Asteroids, Missile Command. I mean, if Atari had released them in like a collection of some sort on this, but with better graphics and enhanced gameplay, this thing would sell like hotcakes, no doubt about it. The Atari VCS, one of the main reasons why it's pre-ordered so well, because everyone knows that they're going to have 100 plus Atari classic games on there, plus they can download more, hundreds of them, you know what I mean? So yeah, but the Atari Jaguar just didn't have that. The Tempest 2000, that's one of the best games on this as well, It needed more of the old school games on this, But anyway, so that's it for the console. We'll go on to the games now in a minute and tell you what I think. So, yeah, that's the Atari Jaguar. We like the system despite it being a failure. There are a few good games on it, but ultimately, we just couldn't recommend it to people. We just couldn't. And I'm being super generous, so take it for what it is, So yeah, so that's it for the console, and yeah. So I'm actually gonna go on to the controller before I start doing the games. So just the controller, and I believe there's a pro controller of this where it has 6 red buttons. I'm not too sure. Now there's multi-taps where you can plug 4 controllers into the Atari Jaguar, but there's not many games for it. There are some, but there's not many. So yeah, but the game library on the Jaguar is bad. I'm not gonna say it is. I mean, there's just not a lot to choose from, and it's very expensive. For whatever reason, I don't know. Yeah, Warren Soldier. That's what this overlay is from. Behind here it has buttons 1 through 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when you're playing the game on his right hand, that'll correspond to a weapon. So you don't have to press the red buttons, which is pretty cool. Well, not every game had an overlay, so with some games these buttons are pretty pointless, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I like the controller. It's pretty good. Like, I mean, a lot of people hate it. I find it comfortable. See, it has like good grills for your fingers and stuff. So it's comfortable. I like it, And look, it's we use a SCART lead, RGT, RGB. I think it's yeah. I think it's RGB or RGT. I think it's RGB. Yeah, red, green, black. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, in my opinion, that's the best lead to get if you want to have the best picture and sound, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna go on to the games, and I'll tell you what I think, you know. And I don't think I'm gonna get any more Atari Jaguar games because there's really nothing else there worth my attention, you know. But like I said, the games are super expensive, so I'm always waiting for the price to come down, like, you know. So I'm gonna go on to the first one. This is Double Dragon 5, right? Um, uh, the Shallow Falls, you know. Now this is made by Trade West. I think they didn't do the previous Double Dragons. I don't think, you know. Acclaim did Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3. But here's Trade West, right? And the Shadow Falls, right? Now this game was released in 1995. Right? Now this is not like this is like Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat. It's a one-on-one beat 'em up. You can choose between Billy and Jimmy and the other characters, but there's not a lot to choose from. There's only something like 7 or 8 characters, and that's it. There's no other characters you can unlock or anything. So it's really there's not a lot of stuff in here, you know, and you know, it's just kick, punch, jump. There's nothing. There's no like spectacular special moves or anything or like Street Fighter 2 or anything. So it's okay. I mean, it's playable, and the animations of the characters are pretty good, but it's just mediocre. I mean, there's nothing really special about it, you know. That's what I can say. Very short, very not a lot in here. I mean, they could have done so much more with this, but it's just a waste in my opinion. Now we paid about €30 for this, which was a lot, you know. Now I didn't get it with a box of it because I was seeing it complete in a box with a manual worth €120 plus postage and packaging. I says no thanks, you know. So I tried to find one with a cartridge only, and I found this for €30. It's not worth €30. It's not worth €20. It's just like it's just boring. It's just mediocre. So I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's just nothing special, you know, in my opinion. You know, I'm sorry I got it. In my opinion, you know. So, like I said, and that's pretty much how most of the games on the Atari Jaguar are, just mediocre. There's nothing special, in my opinion. Anyway, we're onto a game that's very unique and very basic as well. This is Club Drive, right? And this is made by Atari, you know. It's 1 or 2 players. Released in 1994, same as Double Dragon 5. Wait, this is there's no racing involved in this game. It's just about collecting power orbs, you know. It's like micro machines. Right? You see that yellow car, right? You drive around with that car, or you can change the colour to red, green, blue. There's like 5 tracks, right? And the first track is the bedroom of some kid. Some kid's bedroom, right? And you can drive up on the bed or behind the toilet or behind the television and stuff. And like the whole thing is collecting power orbs, you know. You collect like something like 20 or 30. It shows you how many you have to collect, and the whole thing is the fastest time, you know. Collecting all these orbs within the fastest time, you know. And it's right. There's no texture mapping whatsoever. It's all just plain polygons. So the game looks very bland. But you know, it runs pretty well. Like 30 frames per second, and you get the feeling that you're a tiny car on the bedroom floor. And then the another track is like a western town with a saloon and buildings and hotels and stuff, and there's even a big Atari headquarters, the whole building, like, you know, and there's a big Pong, the big screen with Pong on it. So Atari are definitely promoting themselves in this game, like, you know. Like I said, there's no racing involved. It's just it's a strange and unique game. So there's no sense of challenge or urgency. It's just a nice, relaxing game. It's certainly different. Different from every other driving game that I've played. Um, and the cool thing about these characters, like they have like a mad arch, like a dojo, with Atari. And now, I like the idea that there's a handle that you can pull it out. A lot of people slag the cartridges for that, so what's the point? We can just grab it like that. But yeah, it makes sense, But, yeah, yeah. So Club Drive, it's nothing special. It's like Double Dragon 5. It's just mediocre. It's just Now we got this complete in a box with a manual because I was looking for driving games of some sort, and there's not a whole hell of a lot, Uh, so we got this boxed, and we play 85 euro for this. I just waste of money. It's just a waste. I've only played it 3 times. 5 tracks. One of the other stages is a car park. You go up the ramp, you come down the ramp, you go on the roof, you collect power orbs. That's it. And a funny thing about it is, every time you collect a power orb, it goes, "Oh right," with like a Dublin accent, So I think some words guy made this game or something. It's gas hearing a Dublin accent in a video game, like, "Oh right," like that when you collect a power orb. And I doubt I'll ever get a second player to play this with me, So it's just mediocre, nothing special. Again, it's not it's playable. It runs pretty well, but there's no texture or anything. So we'll give it 5 out of 10 again. It's just mediocre. Again, not good, not good. And I think I'm being generous there, but I did have some sort of enjoyment with it. I played it for more than an hour and a half, so I got an hour and a half of fun out of it. That's about it. Okay, on to the game that now we got this game with my Atari Jaguar. We got my Atari Jaguar from eBay about 5 years ago now, and I got it for €150 with the controller and this game Cybermorph. And it came boxed and all, from some fella in England. So fair play to your man, it was in great condition and all, for a console that's over 20 years old. So Cybermorph, this is the game that came with it, and this is the launch title that came with it in 1993. Made by Atari. This is a 3D polygonal spaceship game, something similar to Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. But this game was meant to show off that the Atari Jaguar was 64-bit and how much better it is over a Super Nintendo or a Sega Mega Drive. It wasn't. Everything looks really bland and pale. Mountains will appear out of nowhere. When you're flying along like that, you bump off a mountain. So things just pop on screen as you're moving, which is pain in the ass. And every time you hit off something, which happens a lot, see this green face here, she keeps saying, "Where did you learn to fly?" Every time you hit something, "Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly?" I mean, it does your head in, And she says, "Watch out, there's enemies, watch out," and stuff. Really annoying, and the enemies are really basic in design. There's nothing special about this whatsoever. This isn't, this game just showed everyone that the Atari Jaguar was a failure from the get-go, that it's not 64-bit, it's just a big con job, It was, because Atari deceived everyone saying, this is the world's true, this is 64-bit, and it's not. The world's first 64-bit system didn't come out in 1997, and that was the Nintendo 64. We've got the Nintendo 64, and that is 64, but there's a big difference in the graphics, the textures, everything. Cybermorph, it's just a big disappointment. It's awkward, it's clunky for a spaceship game. Like Star Fox and the Super Nintendo plays and looks better than this, and it's only 16-bit. So I don't know, like, you know, and I believe they made a sequel to this. I'm not too sure, but this is just disappointing. And now, when I got my Atari Jaguar, I didn't think it'd be this bad. You know, to be honest with you, I thought it'd be better than what I thought it would be, but it wasn't. This was just this Cybermorph was a big disappointment. It's playable, but like I said, you'd be flying along, next minute you hit off a mountain or you hit off a tree, and this green bitch with a face says, where did you learn how to fly? And just like that. It's Double Dragon 5 is better than this. It's the animations look good. It's like Street Fighter 2. You know, we got more fun out of that than this. Club Drive is better than this. You know, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. So Cybermorph, it's just a very disappointing game. And again, it's like Club Drive. You're collecting like orbs or something like that. It's all about collecting something, you know. And you collect so many, and then the vortex opens and says, "Go to the vortex," and then you're on to the next planet. It's playable. It's. We'll give it a 3 out of 10. It's just disappointing. I'm being generous there. You know, it's just not a great game. You know, a little bit so much more. You know, I got the feeling that like it was rushed to get out. So Atari rushed it. You know. Yeah. So anyway, like I said. Now, there are some good games on the Atari Jaguar, you know, but they're not all bad. You know, I say this, the Atari Jaguar has more good games than the Panasonic 3DO, I'll say that. And this is probably one of the best games on it, Tempest 2000, this is amazing. This something so basic is the Atari Jaguar's best game, you know. It's brilliant, it just is. Came out in 1994. It's brilliant, great music. You're going around the 3D shapes, shooting all the stuff, and it's really cool. And the music's cool, you know. So yeah, and Tempest 4000 will be coming out for the Atari VCS. So yeah, I mean, this is a great. It's brilliant. It's so good they put the soundtrack onto a CD, which I don't have. But I got this game boxed. Fully complete with a manual and that, and I had to have it because it's Tempest. You know, I love Tempest. Okay, I still can't. €130 for this, and believe me, it's gone up in price. And I've seen it going for 150. I'm not messing. I mean, there's some crazy people out there, but. Yeah, but I got mine for 130. Yeah. Is it worth 130? God, no. But I had to have it because I knew I'd never get it. You know what I mean? If I waited any longer, if I waited now, I'd never get it. So, like, yeah, it's a great game. And I hope Tempest 4000 isn't the same price as this. So, yeah, it's a brilliant game. It's highly enjoyable. I find anyway. If I was give it a score out of 10, I'll give it 9 out of 10. You know, it is extremely hard. That's probably the only thing wrong with it. And the price, yeah, it's very expensive. You know. But who knows? Maybe now it might have gone down in price, but I doubt it. Because everyone knows that this is one of the best games on it, and people want it. So. People charge outrageous prices for it. Whereas Cybermorph, you can get that cheap enough. You know, still expensive, but it's cheaper than Tempest. You know. Right. On to the next game. Okay. Now, in my opinion, all these games are shown here. Okay, even the bad ones are still alright. I mean, I would recommend these games if you are going to get an Atari Jaguar. You know. You know, that's just my opinion. Right. Next game, Checkered Flag. Right. Made by Atari. in I think I'm going to need to get glasses. Yeah, 1994. Now, Checkered Flag. We first played this on the Sinclair's ZX Spectrum, and I don't know who owns this game. Is it Spectrum or is it Atari? According to this, it's Atari. I don't know. But Checkered Flag, it's a 3D polygonal F1 game, Formula 1 game. Something similar to Virtua Racing on the Sega Mega Drive. There's multiple views you can get inside the car, behind the steering wheel or behind the car. Very similar to Virtua Racing, but unfortunately, this is not as good as Virtua Racing. Not even like for 64-bit, it just doesn't show it off. You know, it's the controls are delayed. You know, you press right or left, and it takes ages for the car to turn. So I've crashed like loads of times, and I've tried my best not to. It's really when you're turning corners, the camera like goes like that and stuff. So everything looks slanted or something when you're turning a corner. So strangely, the frame rate is okay, but because of all the stuff with the camera and stuff, it's very fucking jerky. And if you hit off something, the car just slips around really fast, and yeah, it just looks really flimsy, you know. Whereas in Virtua Racing, you actually feel like you're going around a corner, and when you hit something, actually it feels like it. And this, it's just like it's floating or something. It's hard to describe. But the controls are so delayed, it's really bad. So that's what really lets it down, is the controls. And there's plenty of cars and tracks. You can choose the colour of your tracks. You can set the amount of laps and the weather and all that. But the game is hard to control, and it's just awkward. So it's really disappointing. I was looking forward to this. And again, I've got this complete in a box. €85. Really expensive. But I had some fun with it. You know, it was really insane, hard to control. It's like a Club Drive is better than this, because at least you can control it and have some sort of fun. Now, I tried my best to. I knew that it was delayed, so. But I knew that the controls were delayed, so I tried my best to get the car around the corner, but it's just awkward. It has good music. But the ZX Spectrum version of Checkered Flag is better than this, and that is like not even 3D. That's just 2D, and it's just one car going around a track. But the controls better. It actually feels like you're moving fast in the ZX Spectrum version. This, it doesn't seem like you are. So it's just disappointing. So for this, I'll give it a 4 out of 10, and I'm being generous. I've seen people, they literally rip this game an a-hole, a new one. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's 4 out of 10. It's just, I think Club Drive is better than this. But it is playable at some level. So, yeah, I'm being generous there, you know. So, yeah, I'll give 4 out of 10 to Checkered Flag. Yeah, now, on to another classic. One of my favourite games of all time, Doom. Now, this is brilliant. This is one of the best console versions of Doom out there. This came out in 1994. Yeah, and but before the PlayStation version came out, which took top spot in terms of console versions of Doom, and the Jaguar was great. But the only thing wrong with it was while playing the levels, there's no music, which is strange, you know. But when you start up the game, there's music. When you finish a level and it's counting up how many kills you got and secrets and all, there's music. So I don't know why there's no music in the levels. You know the Doom music, you know that sort of stuff. There's no music, but it runs great, and the enemies are fully animated. You can see them from the side, from the back, and the front and stuff. So yeah, it's better than the Super Nintendo version. This game actually shows off that it's more powerful because it has texture on the roof and the ceiling. You know, if all the games on the Atari Jaguar ran like Doom, it'd be a great system. But it didn't. Just Doom, you know. But it's definitely not 64-bit. Every cartridge has 64-bit, you know. And that's a big lie, like, it's just not, you know. So Doom on the Atari Jaguar, even though it has no music, we'll give it a 9 out of 10. If it had the music, yeah, we'll give it 10 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 for Doom. And if you are going to get an Atari Jaguar, which we do, if it's decided to, you can get Doom. Doom is pretty good, isn't it? But Doom is also expensive, and I got it complete, you know, with a manual and everything else. So I'm running out of time here because I gotta go to bed soon because I'm up at 9:30 in the morning for work. So I'm gonna. I've only got a few games left anyway. Cannon Fodder by Virgin Games, you know, and Sensible Software, 1993. Now this was on the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo. It's a top-down game, something similar to Command and Conquer. You have a cursor and you have like 4 or 5 soldiers, and you have to kill the enemy soldiers and their bases, their tanks, everything. And each mission you complete, you get 4 or 5 new soldiers. But each one that dies, there's like a big graveyard, and you see the tombstone. And it's a pretty cool game. There's a lot of strategy involved. To get to the enemy base and kill them all without getting killed yourself. So it's a pretty good game. You know, and the Atari Jaguar version is pretty good. It's on par with the Sega Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo version. There's no real... The 64 bits isn't doing anything to improve the game, so it's just pretty much on par. But it is a good game. And if you're gonna get an Atari Jaguar, or to recommend it, this is a good game on it. But again, like I said, Sega Mega Drive was cheaper, Super Nintendo was cheaper. So your best bet is to get it on them, you know, than the Atari Jaguar. But this is a good game. We'll enjoy it, you know. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It does get extremely hard, like, you know. And it takes a while to get used to the controls on the control pad. Right. On to the next game. Alien vs Predator. Now this is brilliant, right? Made by 20th Century Fox. You know. Yeah. So this game is cool. You can play as the alien, the predator, or the marine, you know, and they all have their own attacking abilities and missions and stuff like that. But I always play with the marine because you have guns and it's easier to take out the enemies. This is an extremely hard game, I have to say, and I got lost a lot of the time because everything looks the same pretty much. So there's a map, and you're gonna have to keep looking at the map, and the fact that the dead body stay in the ground gives an indication of where you were. So it runs pretty well, looks pretty good. This is one of the best games on the Atari Jaguar, but it does get confusing of where you're meant to go, and it does get extremely hard and frustrating. But it's still a great game, and it is a standout game for the Jaguar, and it shows off that it is more powerful than a Mega Drive or Super Nintendo. But it does get confusing, even though you have to map, because everything looks similar, and it does get extremely hard. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10. You know, I think Doom is a better designed game than Alien vs Predator. So yeah, I mean, definitely. But now I got this box as well. Something like €100. You know, Jesus. Yeah. So last game. Now, for the Atari Jaguar. Now, like I said, I've got no intention of getting any more Atari Jaguar games, and that's actually something that I know I'm gonna like instantly. But look, I'll keep checking eBay all the time and Amazon, and there's nothing. You know, there's a game called Raiden, I think. I think it's a spaceship game, but that's really expensive, and I don't think I'll ever get that unless it comes down in price. But this is Urin Soldier, and the overlay showed belongs to this. You control a bigger robot. It's you got like a first person shooter, and you have to blow up other tanks and robots and buildings and stuff. So it's pretty fun, but the only thing is there's no texture and everything. Everything is just plain polygons. So it's nothing. It doesn't look anything special. But it's a fun game. Like you get the sensation that you're in a big robot, blowing up little tanks and stuff. So yeah, but it does get boring. I found because you're just doing the same thing over and over again, blowing up tanks, blowing up other helicopters and stuff. But it is a fun game. It kept me entertained for a while, but ultimately it got boring and like repetitive. Same as stuff. So it's a good game. Would recommend it. It's just nothing spectacular, So we'll give it a 7 out of 10. So that's it for the Atari Jaguar. I mean, I have no intention of getting any more games unless I see something really exceptional, which I doubt. Like I said, I'm not sure how many games are in that they are in the Atari Jaguar library, but it's not big. So, gonna put the games back in the bag. So the Atari Jaguar, big failure, massive flop for Atari. I mean, it definitely hurt them financially because, like I said, they're out in the gaming business for over 20 years and now they're back with the Atari VCS. But, all the naysayers say this isn't the same Atari, different people. Yep. But it's I believe the Atari VCS will come out and it'll be a success. It won't be a failure like the Jaguar. No. For a tap of 4,000, the Atari Vaults Plus, you can get any game you want. Because it's an open Linux system. So that's all advantages. You couldn't do any of that on the Atari Jaguar or 7800 or the 5200. But we can understand people saying, look, be cautious. Fair enough. If the Atari VCS comes out a failure like this, then we'll eat my own words and say I was wrong. You guys were right. Fair enough. No problem. We wait and see what happens. But even if it is a failure like this, I got enjoyment out of this. Even though it's a failure, and like I said, there's not many great games on it, but I enjoyed it. It's not terrible. It's every system, even the bad ones, have good games, and the Atari VCS will be the same in my opinion. It won't be a failure like the 5200, because I just don't think so. I could be completely wrong, but we'll wait and see what happens. And if I am wrong, I'll say, look lads, I was wrong. So yeah. So the Atari Jaguar is a big failure, and in a lot of people's eyes, a big hunk of shit, so it might be. Yeah, I couldn't recommend it. I just couldn't. I'd like to, but I can't. I'm just being realistic. There's nothing on it here that would hold anyone's interest for a long time. So that's it. I'm going to end this video, and thanks very much for watching. If someone does watch, I don't think anyone will, but if someone does, then thanks very much. If you want to leave any suggestions or comments, whatever, subscribe if you want to, but I don't think anyone will. But yeah, so that's it for the Atari Jaguar. So thanks very much, and I'll see you all later. Thank you, bye bye.